Today I'm going to share with you my meal prepped breakfasts and lunches for 5 days on my $12 budget. I will also be using the seasonings that I pulled out of my fridge and pantry to add to my meal prep. You can add any seasonings that you have on hand. For breakfast, I decided to go with something light and refreshing. I do try to run every single morning before work, and I have been loving smoothies lately. It has been in the high 90s here. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada, and since this is something that's really refreshing after my run, I decided to fit it into my tiny budget. Now, you might look at this and think that it's not a very big breakfast. You're right, it's not. Lunch will make up for that because lunch is huge, but this is something for me that's really light, really refreshing, and I'm not someone who's really hungry after a workout. It takes a few hours before I get a little bit hungry, and I feel like having a nutrient-packed smoothie is the way to go for me. So after my run, I can pop this into my blender each morning and sip it on the way to work. It's so refreshing. I have some greens, I have some recovery with the bananas and the fruit. It was a tropical mix. I had some papaya, strawberries, mango, and pineapple. It was absolutely delicious. Since I went ahead and bought rice, I popped out my pressure cooker. It's my favorite way to make rice, and I made all of the rice. So in total, it's 5 cups of dry rice. So it made 10 cups of cooked rice. So like I said, breakfast might have been small and light, which is perfect for me. If you need to add something else to your breakfast, you can absolutely do that. But lunch was rather hefty, and 2 cups of rice is a lot, plus everything else that I'm adding in. So I did season it with parsley, onion powder, garlic, salt, and turmeric, and it was probably the best rice that I've ever made at home. It just had a lot of flavor. I'm really into turmeric right now, and I love it with garlic, salt, and onion powder. It reminds me of the chickenless vegan seasoning from Trader Joe's, which you can make with those 3 seasonings if you have them at home, and a little pinch of sea salt. The parsley, honestly, I don't really notice the flavor of it, probably because it's dry and not fresh, but it does add some pretty color. So I go ahead and cook my rice for 12 minutes in my pressure cooker with a 1-to-1 ratio, and then I get my tofu started. And all I did was cube my tofu, and then in a super hot pan, I added a little bit of water and then cooked it with some onion powder and garlic salt. You can cook it however you'd like. I don't cook with oil, but I have a friend that makes me tofu often, and she sears it in a super hot pan. If I do that with my tofu without any water, it does stick a little bit, but if you have a really, really good pan, do it without water or oil, and it is delicious. All I do is stir it at least once or twice while it's cooking. Since this is extra firm tofu, it already has a nice firmness to it, so it's just kind of warming it up and getting the seasonings added on, and it's perfect for me. But since I had a little bit more time while that rice was cooking, I went ahead and got my veggies ready. I washed and peeled and chopped my cucumber and my celery, and then I got it all ready to go, and I got out some meal prep containers as well. I don't use anything fancy when it comes to meal prep containers. I kind of just use a hodgepodge of whatever we have collected over the years. I don't really care what it looks like. I live a very, very busy life, so if I can meal prep for about 30 to 40 minutes once a week to get all of my lunches and breakfast ready to go for the week, it really does help me. So I just got all my veggies in there first. The reason I decided to go cucumber and celery because I wanted that crunch. And I decided to make a homemade hummus really, really quickly to go along with this. This is my very old food processor. We've had this since we got married, so almost 11 years. It's like 2 months shy of 11 years. I'll link the one I have down below. They've redone it a little bit since the one I have, but it's been wonderful. The blade's been awesome. And it's showing a little bit of wear, but it's still been amazing. And I literally use it every single video. I'm pretty sure I pull it out every single video. So I will link the one I have down below. With this hummus, I'm doing very simple. I'm just doing a can of chickpeas, not drained or rinsed because I want the aquafaba. And then I'm putting in some seasonings and then whipping it up until it's nice and creamy. Since this is going to go over the tofu and rice and then have the nice crunchiness of the veggies, I don't need a lot of tahini or lemon or anything added in. But if you have either of those on hand, they're great additions to your homemade hummus. So then I just went ahead and measured out some tofu to kind of eyeball it so it looked appropriate for each of the meals. It doesn't really matter to me if one meal has a little bit more, a little bit less. I don't track my food. I don't know how many calories it is, but obviously it's a little bit higher protein than normal because it has tofu and it also has some chickpeas. And this rice was perfection. I feel like this pressure cooker cooks the best rice. I don't have a rice cooker, but this thing is fabulous and I love it. And then, like I said, I added 2 cups of cooked rice to each single meal prep bowl. So this was actually a very large lunch. It kept me really full. I did have an additional snack that I did not include in this video because I pulled snacks from what we had at home. If you guys followed me on Instagram, you might have seen the reel that I shared on Sunday, which was a oatmeal cookie bowl. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, make sure to do so because I will be sharing a lot more fun recipes like that very, very soon in reels and in post. I really want to enhance my Instagram presence, so make sure to pop over to Instagram and follow me. If you recreate this meal, I hope you tag me on Instagram so I can share it in my stories. Thanks so much for watching. Have an awesome day.